When I first started getting back into sports cards, the main sport that I focused on was baseball. So I did a lot of research on baseball, and now it's shifted into basketball and soccer, but baseball was kind of my bread and butter for quite some time. A lot of the research I was doing was on baseball cards. And actually, if you go to my Instagram, which is just Heroes for Sale, and you check out some of my earlier posts, you're going to see that a lot of the content that I was producing actually had nothing to do with the market. It was a lot of graphic design reviews because I have a graphic design background and went to school for that, and I've been doing graphic design since I was a junior in high school, so it's about 10 years now. So a lot of the content that I was producing early on in my sports card career was on graphic design, and it was the design of the cards. And that was the thing that eventually what ended up happening was when I wasn't learning about the market, I was actually learning about the individual products, and then that kind of helped me get to know the market a little bit better because I learned like going to eBay and seeing a certain card and why it was a certain price. But for me, rookie cards are what I'm focusing on now for the most part. Like that's where you're going to see a lot of the money come in. And the question of why is the rookie card the most important card is basically because it's going to be one of the first cards of that player. So with baseball, that can get a little bit confusing, and there are two main rookie cards that you need to look out for. One is going to be the first Bowman Chrome card, and then the next is going to be the flagship card. So the first card I'm going to get into today is the Bowman card. So what you're going to want to look out for is the card with the first Bowman logo on it. Now, that card is going to be a pre-rookie card. It typically is going to be the first card of a player wearing their pro uniform. So what you'll find is that there's going to be two different types of cards within Bowman. So there's Bowman Chrome and there's Bowman Paper. So when you're trying to figure out which is which, Bowman Chrome has a blue Bowman logo and the Bowman Paper has the red Bowman logo. So when you are looking for this card, just make sure that you are looking for the card with the first Bowman logo, because what ends up happening is as a player goes through the minors for a couple years, there's a good chance that they may be in multiple years worth of Bowman. And that was one of the main mistakes actually that I made when I first was getting into baseball cards and cards in general, was I was just buying random Bowman cards because when I was doing the research, Bowman was the one that popped up when I looked baseball rookie cards. And what ended up happening was I was buying, just like I said, random Bowman cards and not really realizing that the first Bowman card is the one you want to get, and that there was a difference between Bowman Chrome and Bowman Paper. So there's 3 different releases that come out every year for Bowman. So there's Bowman Baseball, which this year has been a little bit different, but for most years, this is going to be the schedule. So there's Bowman Baseball, there's Bowman Chrome, and then there's Bowman Draft. So Bowman Baseball has a checklist of 300 players, so it's 150 prospects and 150 major league players. So the cards you really want to be collecting from this set are going to be the first Bowman, and then you can go with some of the rookie cards, but typically all of the pro player cards are going to be Bowman Paper. So you will find players like this year you had Bobby Witt Jr., this year you had Jason Dominguez. Last year in Bowman Baseball, which was the first release, you had Wander Franco, you had Joey Bart, you had Julio Rodriguez, you had a ton of big names that were getting their first Bowman cards. Now the second release is going to be Bowman Chrome. So within the first Bowman release, there's the prospects, and then there's the pro checklist. All of the prospects have a Chrome checklist as well, but within the packs, you mainly are getting 2 to 3 Bowman Chrome cards, and the rest are going to be Bowman Paper. But with the September release of Bowman Chrome, they're all Chrome. So that's where you'll typically see players like last year in 2019, you saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you saw Fernando Tatis, you saw Pete Alonso. They all got their first Bowman Chrome rookie card. So that also does have some prospects in it, but typically this product is mainly a pro release. So the Bowman Chrome rookie card is one that I've looked into and one that I personally like. It's not in the top list of top rookie cards you can buy, but it is something that I think is interesting and I think is actually a little bit undervalued. So then the last release of Bowman is Bowman Draft. So every year, obviously, there is a draft within baseball. This year, actually, they reduced the amount of rounds, which isn't a huge deal because typically you only see first or second rounders getting cards within Bowman Draft. But you're only going to see prospects in this release. So this release, you'll see the first and the third overall pick get their card in that year's draft, and then they hold out the second overall pick. So Bobby Witt Jr. in last year's draft was the second overall pick, and he got a card in 2020, not 2019. Adley Rushman and Andrew Vaughn were the first and third overall picks, and those players were the ones that got cards in 2019. So one of the confusing parts about Bowman is that there's tons of different refractors and different types of products. So like there is the Bowman Sapphire, there is Bowman Megabox refractors. There's tons of different ones. I would say just from when you're starting out, it's probably easiest just to go with the base Bowman Chrome first Bowman card, not to go crazy into the refractors. I mean, there obviously are numbered refractors, but then there's also shimmer refractors, which are numbered. Both of those cards are numbered, but that's where it can get kind of confusing. So if you're just starting out, I think it's best to just look at the base card and look at the base release of the first Bowman card, whether that's in Bowman Baseball or that's in Bowman Draft. And then this year, actually, there was another version of Bowman that came out, and there are some conspiracy theories that Topps actually just came out with this product because they were getting a lot of the autographs back, and the autographs were actually smudged, so they made a new product. It's called the Bowman First Edition, and there were just Bowman paper first editions, and then there were Bowman Chrome autographs within that product. So what basically that product itself is one that I don't think is going to happen again. This year it was the first time that they've ever come out with this product, and I do think that you're going to see that card get into the mix a little bit more when you're looking at like a Jason Dominguez or like a Bobby Witt Jr., when you're looking at the top Bowman cards for that player. But I do think overall the best base card for a prospect is going to be the first Bowman Chrome card, not Bowman Paper or Bowman First Edition, which is just definitely specific for this year, not other years. And I don't think we're ever going to see Bowman First Edition again because, you know, it definitely made, I think, Topps, they came out with it, and it definitely made them some money, but it does muddy up the waters, and I didn't really like it personally. So the other card that I like for baseball, if you're just starting out, is going to be the flagship card. So there's the same with Bowman. There's 3 different releases. So there's Series 1, there's Series 2, and then there's Topps Update. So basically what this is, it's the first card within the flagship release that Topps comes out with that has the rookie card logo. So back in 2005, Jacoby Ellsbury actually made his Topps debut, and he had a card within Topps that was like a rookie card, but then he didn't make his debut until actually 2007. So the Players Association actually changed the rule that year. So after that year, you had to have made your pro debut for you to be featured in a card in a Topps product. So that was a big change because we saw like that actually made things a little bit easier sometimes, you could say, for rookie cards versus Bowman cards, because players could get Bowman cards and then they could also get Topps cards, and that would be kind of confusing. So I'm glad that they made that rule change. So like I said, Series 1 is basically going to be players that made their debut in the previous year but didn't play enough games to be included in Topps Update. So the Series 1 release this year came out in January, and there was a little bit of controversy because like a player like Yordan Alvarez, he won the Rookie of the Year last year in 2019, but he didn't get a rookie card until 2020. He was in Series 1. So him, Bo Bichette, Gavin Lux, they all had rookie cards in this year's Series 1, and they made their debuts last year. Now, Examine Baseball is a guy that I follow on Twitter. He writes for Forbes, and he did a little research and found out that there was a specific date last year where, like, Yordan Alvarez made his debut, and then there was a player on the Cardinals that made his debut, and they were one day apart, and the Cardinals player made it into Topps Update, but then Yordan Alvarez made his debut the next day and didn't make it until Topps Series 1 of the next year. So one way you can kind of tell if you know what they're going to do is there's a card called a Topps Now card. So when the player makes their actual Major League debut, if that player's card, that Topps Now card, has the rookie card logo on it, you know they're going to be included in some sort of release, whether that's Series 2 or it's going to be Topps Update. But if it has a call-up logo, that means that means they're almost a 100% chance they're not going to be included into the next year. So like Bo Bichette, Yordan Alvarez, they have that call-up logo on their card. So the Series 2 release comes out midway through the year. So this year it actually came out a couple weeks ago, and usually it comes out in June, I believe, and then the Topps Update comes out in October. So the Series 2 release is going to have rookies that are making their debut. They're starting the year on the roster for their Major League team or if they made their debut like 10, 20 games into the season. There is a weird rule. There's something called in the MLB that basically it's years of service time. Service time, and if you play a certain amount of games, that takes a full year off of your service time, which means that the MLB team will have to sign you later on, where if they keep you in the minors for a certain amount of games, they'll have an extra year of service time. So last year what ended up happening was Eloy Jimenez actually signed a contract, so his service time started, but Pete Alonso, Fernando Tatis, they both started the year on the opening day roster, so those three players were included as regular base cards in the checklist. Now, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in last year's product, he made his debut a little bit into the season, so what ended up happening was he was a short print because he was added into the product because he qualified and made his debut later. So he was a short print. Now, there aren't real numbers on the short print, but from what I've heard, that he was hitting about 3 to 4 times a case. And that basically means there was a 40 to 50% chance within a case that you were going to be getting, which I opened 2 hobby boxes of Series 2, and in one of the boxes that I opened, I got a Vladimir Guerrero Jr., so that does make sense. Now, it wasn't from the same case, but either way, the hit rate was the same there. Now, a player like Ronald Acuna also has a Series 2 short print, but his was hitting about 1 per case. So that's why if you go and look for Ronald Acuna's rookie card from Series 2, it's a lot more expensive than it would be for like a Vladimir Guerrero. Not only just because he's a better player, but because the card is actually a lot more rare based off of how many times it was hit into a case. So then basically the last release is going to be Topps Update, which comes out in October. Now they may push it back this year. I'm not 100% sure what they're doing, but Topps Update is basically going to be players that made their debut that was too late for them to get into Series 2, but they will be in the product. Like I said, so like a Keston Hiura, like a Nick Senzel from last year, they all made their debut cards into Topps Update, where they had the rookie card logo on their Topps Now debut card. So that's one way to tell, like I said. And with Topps Update, also the players from 2018 that I think were pretty important were like a Juan Soto, a Torres from the Yankees. Ronald Acuna made his debut into a regular Topps release. Like he was short print in Series 2 and then made his full debut into Topps Update. So those cards in Topps Update, like 2018 Topps Update is probably one of the best releases they've had in quite some time. I would say Topps Series 1 from this year is also going to probably rival that set, depending on how well the rookies do. This year's Series 1 had a ton of rookies, and it's probably going to be the best product. Depending on how they treat Update this year because of the MLB season, it may be a little bit different, but I don't see them really making that product too crazy, because I think the way that it's going to work is they're going to try and hold out a lot of these players to put them into the next year's set, because like a lot of the prospects aren't going to be maybe on the major league roster the next year, so they don't want to have them have a rookie card and then have them not on the team. So it's a little bit confusing, and it sort of is what Topps wants to do. There are rules and regulations, but it can be confusing, like how Topps decides to put those players into the product itself. So those are the top 2 rookie cards, I would say, if you're looking for baseball. After that, it kind of is up in the air what you like and what you want to buy. My next rookie card would be the Topps Heritage rookie card, and that's just my personal preference because I like that they're using an old design and it's not a new design. And I think what they do with Topps Heritage is they have a regular release at the beginning of the year, which has the Series 1 rookies, but what's weird about that one is they actually only have short printed regular rookies. The rookies in the first release of Heritage are dual rookies with another rookie from that team. And then in Topps Heritage High Number, which is the second release, which is basically just like, it's like Topps Update, but for Heritage, they have the full list of all the rookies in there. And that's what it comes out later on in the year, so they're able to get basically all the rookies that would have been in like Topps Update, Topps Series 2. They're all going to have cards in that release itself. But there's also like Topps Finest, there's Allen and Ginter, there's Gypsy Queen. I mean, there's tons of different releases, but if you are looking for rookie cards, those are the 2, the first Bowman Chrome card, and then the first Topps flagship card. So the other thing that you want to definitely keep an eye out for is that there you may find that there's going to be multiple different rookie cards. So like Ronald Acuna, like I said, has a Series 2 card and then a Topps Update card. The Topps Update card and the Series 2 card are both popular, but like there are going to be variations too. So like one issue that you can find when you're looking for a player like Cody Bellinger is there's like 15 different variations of his rookie card. So you want to look for the one that doesn't have like other insignia on it. So like there's ones that are like all-star, there's ones that are like rookie debut. There's tons of different variations of rookie cards. So you want to make sure you're looking for the one on the base checklist. And it's the easiest way to do this is to find the base checklist and figure out which one the player is on. So for Cody Bellinger, it's Topps update in 2017. So you want to look for his name on the base checklist and then search the actual card number on eBay or wherever Star Stock or wherever you're going to be looking for this card. And it can be confusing, but honestly, once you kind of start getting the hang of it, it gets a little bit easier. And I would say start small. Like start with one player and figure that out, because that's going to give you the knowledge from that year, and then you can kind of start stacking on top within different players. So that's all I got for this video. Thank you everybody for watching. Go follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Go follow the podcast. Leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, iTunes. Everybody, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.